Hey, y'all. Well, after this weekend, I think the picture is becoming a lot clearer, to say the least. So let's take a look at our Kentucky Derby 151 top 10, our third installment for March 2nd, 2025. Number 10 is Matticat Road, just as he was last week. I thought he ran a really good Rebel Stakes. I think he ran the race he should have run. And I think he proved that this one is probably to be taken a little more seriously. And particularly after this weekend, uh, the Baffords maybe aren't looking quite as strong as they did before. But this one, I think there's some more in the tank. And I'm very anxious to see this one run again. And if they choose to put him on the front end uh, in the Arkansas Derby or wherever he goes next, or rate whatever they do. I think this one is very intriguing. I don't like the sprint pedigree on the dam side, but he may have enough talent to overcome that. I think he's one that we have to consider, and uh, I think his next start certainly is going to. I think we'll know for sure what we have. Number 9 is built, as I've said before. I think we know what this horse is. He's a really good horse. He's a good horse. He's a hard knocker. I just think he's a cut below, and I think that's. I don't think my opinion really is going to change about this one terribly much, regardless of what he does in his next race. That's just the way it is, from what I've seen so far. So he stays at number 9. Our first change is number 8 is Barnes. Now, I'm not giving up on this one just yet. I did mention that in our race replay analysis of the San Felipe, which I encourage you to take a look at. He ran the race he was supposed to run. He got a good trip. But for journalism, he wins that race handily. So it's not like it was a total bomb of a race. He's a good horse. I think he proved that his first time around 2 turns. I don't think he embarrassed himself by any means whatsoever. We just got to wonder a little bit about maybe the hype. Maybe he was a little overblown, but I'm certainly not going to give up on him yet. And let's see what he does in the Santa Anita Derby or wherever he goes next. Number 7 is Sandman. We know what he is, too. He's a closer. He's a tappet. It's all between the ears. And if they can figure out a way to get him more involved in a race early, then he's a much more solid contender. But we know he's going to get 2 turns. That's not the issue. The issue is can he get up more involved in any race that he runs in? And until he does that, he's going to be towards the bottom. And he's a likely horse to get underneath in the Derby trifecta and the superfecta, but that would be the extent of it. Number 6 is Burnham Square. Takes a little bit of a drop, not much. I don't think he ran badly at all in the Fountain of Youth. He just wasn't good enough, and I really question the ride that he got. I don't know why they put him in the back. It seemed to me that maybe they were a little overconfident and thought he could repeat the Holy Bull and just circle the field. Well, it was proven clearly that was not going to happen. Not on a track at that speed favoring. He still, if you go back and watch it, he ran fine. I mean, he ran his race. It just wasn't good enough. So he's another one that tactically he's going to have to prove he can get more involved in a race early. But I think this one still has talent. I haven't given up on him either. And let's see what he does in the Florida Derby, or if he does run next. I don't know. We'll see. Number 5 is Chance McPatrick. Really, by default, he moves up. We'll see what he does in the Tampa Derby. Obviously, he's got to prove it around 2 turns. He appears to have plenty of ability, and I'm not doubting that whatsoever. But these horses who come from behind around 1 turn, they're not always a lock to do that around 2 turns. We have to remember that. And this one could go either way. He's got the pedigree to go 2 turns. There's no doubt about that. But to me, he could be another good Magic for Chad Brown, or he could be another Blazing Sevens. We'll just have to see what he does. I think we'll get a good indication in the Tampa Derby. Number 4 is Cold Battle. Another one has not done anything wrong. And, I love that Rebel Stakes. I thought that was a really phenomenal effort. And he just keeps doing what he's supposed to do. Now, as we've seen this weekend, the waters are getting deeper, the fields are getting classier, and that's what he's going to have to prove. But I like this horse a lot. I've become a believer, and I was really impressed with the Rebel, so I'm looking forward to see what he can do when he runs next. Number 3 is Citizen Bull. Another one hasn't done anything wrong. But I think we all know who the top two are. This one is. I just think there were two efforts that I saw this weekend that put a couple ahead of Citizen Bull. Obviously, the challenge is going to be if he has to run on the front end. Can he take the field all the way in the Kentucky Derby? I don't know. That's a that's a pretty tall order. But again, another one hasn't done anything wrong. I just I think we all saw two horses that ran better and showed that they're probably a little more serious contenders for the Derby than perhaps Citizen Bull is. Number 2 is Sovereignty. Okay, obviously you can go either way with the top two, right? After this weekend, I'm putting Sovereignty number 2 for one reason. It's just that he broke a little slowly. That's it. That's the only reason. I thought he ran in a better field than the San Felipe, and in many ways it was a more impressive effort because he was coming off the bench with an irregular training schedule, and it did take him a little while to find his stride, but boy, when he did, he was awful impressive. I have to believe that with a race under him, that he will be more engaged earlier. But when you close like that on a speed favoring track in the Fountain of Youth with a horse like River Thames, who was fixing to run away with it, I mean, that's just a super impressive effort. Just a little knock for breaking slowly, and that's all. Number 1, Journalism. Why? Broke great out of the gate, rated beautifully, and he just, it was a perfect race. I mean, he just didn't do anything wrong. It was very impressive. To run down a horse like Barnes, I just thought that was extremely impressive. And, to me, it's Journalism and Sovereignty are like 1 and 1A. Because they both basically ran the same race, except Journalism broke better, a little more engaged, so he gets a little bit of an edge, but not much over the two of them. So, without a doubt, it is very exciting to think what those two. I mean, they could throw down the Derby and you go just go head to head down the stretch. That's how close I think they are in talent right now. So, just to review our top 10. It hasn't been a whole lot of changes, except we had what we wanted to see. A couple of horses debuting at 3, and how are they going to do? Were they going to progress from 2 years old? And I think the resounding answer is yes. So Journalism and Sovereignty, I mean, it's setting up to be one hell of a rivalry. It's still early yet. We haven't seen anybody. Let's see if Cornucopian for Bob Baffert might be a little more pressure to put him on the Derby trail now. We'll see. It's I'd hate to think that it turns out to be another Taba situation where they rushed him along, and that horse really, he did win the Malibu, but he really never recovered from it. So I think this is a pretty solid top 10 right now. You'd have to say from top to bottom, and it's looking to be a really exciting Kentucky Derby if these are our prime contenders for sure. So I hope you enjoyed our list here, and let me know if you agree or disagree. I always love to hear from you guys, and that's what makes this game go is opinions. So love to hear from you. Let me know what you think for sure. Like, dislike, otherwise I don't care. I just like to hear other opinions. It helps us all as we formulate our own strategies for the upcoming Derby. So if you do like content like this, of course, please like and subscribe. And again, thanks to all of you who've come on board. We've had a nice little surge and really appreciate that. It's going to be a fun Triple Crown, especially after this weekend. Without a doubt, those were two extremely exciting performances for two really promising horses. So that's it from here. Be on the lookout this week. We'll have the Tampa Derby, and we'll have our sequence for probably for Tampa, and we've got our race replays out for the Fountain of Youth as well as the San Felipe, and I didn't think the Gotham was worth looking at, so we passed on that. So anyway, that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.